Okay, so what's the story? Let's see. There's a 5.0 earthquake in Hawaii. There's an Adderall shortage going on around the world. Some idiots tried to destroy a painting today. Climate activists, if you will. Maybe you haven't heard of this. Iran sent some of its elite troops into Ukraine to help the Russians. That's nice. Um, I hate being the like one of those other prepper channels or something that constantly comes in here and warns you. And I touched on this yesterday, all the bad stuff that's going on. But the reality is, if I just come on here and tell you everything's fine, no one watches. That's just the way the world is. You know how's it go? If it bleeds, it leads, or if it leads, it bleeds. Whatever it is, I don't know the saying. I'm not a news anchor, so whatever. It's not my forte. But more importantly, like I've said, I have my eyes on the Far East. Now, yesterday after I uploaded the video, North Korea sent 170 artillery shells into the buffer zone between North Korea and South Korea. I have not seen that widely reported anywhere. I cannot for the life of me fathom why no one is talking about that. And right now, Europe is basically begging countries in Africa for natural gas. Begging. If you're in Europe right now, it's almost impossible for you to find a legit sleeping bag that's rated for 0 degrees or anything under 0 degrees Celsius. They're all gone. I've got reports of some of my friends over there that I've called up and talked to. They're just walking into public parks and picking up any limbs that fall off trees so they can take it back to their house and burn. Now, some of you may not be aware. I mean, it's obviously different. Europe is not a country. It's there's a bunch of countries in it, but like Austria, for example, they don't have public forests like we do. So you can't just go to the woods in a lot of these European countries and just start chopping down trees or picking up branches that's fallen off of trees in the forest because it's private land. You can't trespass. People really are getting desperate. I know on some of the media. Sorry, that was a work call. I don't know exactly where I left off, but I know I was talking about, I don't know why the things in Europe are not being reported. They're just saying things like, oh, there's a gas shortage, but you need to be more concerned about this. They don't report on the things that are happening over in the Far East and East Asia. People are actually getting really desperate in Europe. Now, some places are faring better than others. Now, I know they've reported like gasoline shortages in like France per se, but France gets a lot of its electricity from nuclear. So they're going to be, what the regular French citizen might experience might be better than what, the average German citizen experiences, so on and so forth. And a lot of these places, they can't even get coal, like just briquettes, the stuff that you use to grill with. It's gone. Imagine walking into a supermarket just anywhere here in America and you can't get a bag of Kingsford because people are so worried of freezing to death in the middle of winter. It's just all gone. Luckily, and thank God that we were born in a place where there's just natural gas everywhere. It's just everywhere. There's oil everywhere. There's hydroelectric dams everywhere. We truly are blessed. Now, our prices over here in America, they will be going up, especially if you use heating oil. If you use heating oil in your home, your prices are going to go up. But we're going to be much better off. We really need to be praying for the people in Europe. And what are they going to do when they get really desperate this winter? I've been talking about this for a long time on my other channel, Joshua Thompson. You just take off the rants, but it's mostly based about money. But the thing is that people in Europe are going to experience crazy amounts of inflation. Crazy amounts of inflation. At the same time, their stock market's going to go down because what's going to happen is you're going to see wealth flight. So a lot of people in places in Europe and other places around the world, maybe even Japan, I'm starting to get concerned about their financial markets and financial well-being as well. But people in Europe are going to be sending a lot of their money over to the United States so they can try to keep their money, quote-unquote, safe. So they're going to be converting from their local currency, which is going to send inflation and local prices up even higher, to the dollar so they can invest in U.S. things so they can keep their money safe. So you're going to experience inflation in Europe. At the same time, the stock market's going to go down. Now, they're going to be able to manipulate this for a while. Obviously, there's been headlines out that the Federal Reserve sent $6 billion in swap lines over to Switzerland. Now, I know a lot of people are seeing that and they're going like, "Oh, this is crazy." Yeah, but that's usually on like a 7-day basis, and it's got like a 3%. It's a loan. They're not just giving them dollars. They're not just printing dollars up and sending it over there. The Fed can't print money anyway. They're sending it over there on a loan at a 3% basis. So they're trying their best to manipulate. They're trying their best to stop the crash from happening. The crash is starting. We're at the precipice now. Things get worse from here. Now, how bad they get, I don't know. I don't know how bad the war in Ukraine is going to get. It's too hard to judge. Will nukes fly? Will they not fly? Is NATO going to see Iranian troops in Ukraine as being some point of escalation? I don't know. And I can just show you guys that real quick in case you haven't seen that article. Here it is right here. Now, it's not a lot. They sent 50 Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps specialists. They have been deployed to train Moscow forces on how to operate kamikaze drones. Now, again, that's not that big of a deal. But how worse does it get? I'm not sure, man. This could be anywhere from Mad Max to the Great Depression to maybe 2008 or maybe 2008 times 2. I'm not exactly sure how bad it's going to get because I don't even know what's going to happen when central bank digital currencies come out. I know we're there now, right? This is where it begins. And we may have ups and downs along the way, but we're going to continue going lower. Do we have another bear market rally? Do we have another pause in inflation? Do we have... Yeah, there could be a million things that happen. But I constantly see other articles that pop up that's like, oh, the Kerch Bridge and the pipelines being blown up means, you know, gold's actually going to go to $2,000 or $3,000 an ounce because it's going to be harder for people to refine it. There's all these refineries in Europe. They can't get the power, so there's going to be a gold shortage, so the price of gold's going to go up. I hate to tell you this, but when the average European citizen this winter, when it's negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit outside and they're freezing and they're desperately doing anything they can to just buy coal or firewood or maybe a little bit of natural gas and a propane canister, what do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to go out and spend their extra cash on another ounce of gold? That's preposterous. If anything, they're going to sell the gold and silver holdings that they have. And you're going to see a gluttonous amount of gold and silver going to the market from Europe because they need cash so they don't freeze to death. So we're here now. This is the precipice. It starts now. Now, will we immediately go down and drop Monday morning in the markets and it's chaos and it's hellish landscape out there? No, I don't think that's going to happen. But we're here now. It doesn't get better. It only gets worse. Shortages get worse. To a certain degree, we're still eating last year's food, last harvest's food. What do you think happens when all this stuff catches up with us? And it will. Trust me, it will catch up. It will. I hate to be right about this, but the next 3 to 6 months is going to be hell, and the next 6 to 12 months is going to be dog shit. So it's honestly almost too late to even get prepared now. You know, I know say buy food and buy what you can to protect yourself and your financial well-being, etc., etc. Maybe for some people it might be smart to sell a house and get an RV. Maybe for other people it might, you know, be safe to or smart to buy a house depending on your circumstances because they're all different, right? But it might be too late, especially if you're in Europe. Now, if you're in the U.S., you have more time. You can still buy food. You can still buy toilet paper. You can still buy ways to heat your home and stuff for the wintertime. But in some places, depending on where you're viewing this from, it might be too late. It just might be too late. I don't know. Do whatever you can, right? Fight to survive. Fight to stay alive. Do your best. I love each and every one of you. I'll see you in the next video.